I don't know how you all spent your Fridays, but I spent mine in bed watching The Defenders. The Defenders sees the culmination of the MCU Netflix shows as Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage and Iron Fist team together to defeat the Hand. Unlike the shows that came before it, this show only has 8 episodes, which I am really grateful for. Because while I do like the other shows, I feel like Daredevil Season 1 is the only one that truly needs all 13 episodes that it had. Because The Defenders only has 8, it makes the pacing that much quicker and a bit more enjoyable to watch, because there's not really a bit that drags in the middle, unlike in some of the other shows. Speaking of Daredevil, the scenes with Matt and Jessica are some of my favourite in the show. Those two characters coming together was great, the actors have great chemistry together, they're really funny. I really loved that pairing of characters. Iron Fist remains the weakest developed character out of the bunch, coming off the back of the weakest written season out of the bunch. However, The Defenders does make some effort to make his character better. This usually comes out in the form of the other 3 Defenders calling him out on his shit. This is very satisfying to watch, especially when it's in a scene involving him and Luke Cage. The development between Danny and Luke has been really nice in The Defenders, and I look forward to where they take that dynamic in future seasons. There's also a nice bit where Matt gets called out for being the only one who has a secret identity and doesn't want to share his face with the rest of the group. That was a scene I really liked. Something I didn't like about the series was the villain, which surprises me most of all. When it was announced that Sigourney Weaver would be playing the villain for The Defenders, I was so excited, because I love Sigourney Weaver. She's great in Ghostbusters and Alien, and as the villain in Paul, so I was thrilled that they had her on board for this. I was really looking forward to what she had to bring to the table, but unfortunately what she had to bring to the table wasn't much. The fact of the matter is, her character wasn't as interesting or as well developed as characters like Kilgrave or Kingpin, which is a shame because the best villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far have come out of these Netflix shows. But when it comes to the characters Sigourney Weaver played, who was leading the Hand against the Defenders, there just wasn't that much to her. I kind of feel like her presence on the show was overshadowed by other characters like Elektra. Speaking of Elektra, she was one of the highlights of the show for me. She was really great. I also really liked seeing Claire, Misty and Colleen get more to do in the show. Colleen Wing was undoubtedly the best part of Iron Fist, so it was great to see her get more to do, and it was great to see relationships develop between those 3. It was also nice that the show caught up with the different worlds of the Defenders themselves, so we got to see Matt and Karen and Foggy and see where they're at in their various friendships and relationships, which gave a nice bit of foundation for their upcoming seasons. I'm glad the show found the time to do that, rather than just focusing on the Defenders and closing off the rest of the world. I really like the way it achieved the feeling of these 4 worlds colliding with each other. In the end, The Defenders was a really fun time for me. I love the fast pacing and that it only had 8 episodes. Love the new dynamics happening between the main 4. As I said earlier, Matt and Jess are really great in the series. Unfortunately, the villains for me were a bit lackluster. There was a lot of talk about the city of New York falling, but not a lot of talk about how. There was no real mention of what the Hand's actual plan was. It reminded me of in Thor: The Dark World. Everyone keeps talking about how Malekith's gonna return the world to a state of eternal night, which to me just sounds like he's ripping off Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. So Defenders, it's a good show, but I don't think it's as good as shows that came before it. I think the Jessica Jones and Daredevil solo seasons are better than The Defenders was, but I am still looking forward to what comes next for these characters, and hopefully sometime down the line they'll get to interact with the rest of the larger MCU. Because the MCU isn't truly complete until every single character has told Danny Rand that he is an idiot. So those are my thoughts on The Defenders. Let me know what your thoughts on The Defenders were in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more from me. That's all I've got to say on the matter, so thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.